mindset. From the roots to the crown, we define. Real talk, real love, perfect timing. It's the Nappy Dreamer, yeah, you know the vibe. With Kia Blain, yeah, we talking real life. From fake to the plain, we just keeping it right. Love, money, self-worth, sweeping it light. Generational curses, yeah, we breaking that chains. Single dollar mama, still we healing up home. Black joy, black love, yeah, we swifting up from where we lost every lesson, it's a part of the game. Body, soul, yeah, we tapping you in. Safe space, no judgment, let the healing begin. If you're searching for your purpose, let it start from within. We just planting them seeds, watch you bloom and ascend. The melanin mindset, where we grow within.
What's good, everybody, and welcome. If it's your first time viewing, welcome back. If you're returning, I'm the Nappy Dreamer.
And I'm Kia Blain.
And we are the Melanin Mindset.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are. You don't never go right. So let's just take turns saying it.
I'm so done. I can't. Listen, y'all, okay? If you're not already and you're viewing us on YouTube, even if you're viewing us on Facebook, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Melanin Mindset. Go ahead and follow us over on Facebook, The Melanin Mindset. We're on Instagram, Melanin Mindset _ TikTok at The Melanin Mindset, and Threads, Melanin Mindset _ Oh my gosh. And if you've subscribed on YouTube, make sure you turn on those notification bells so you're among the first to know when the Melanin Mindset goes live. I notice YouTube is the only platform where you have to ask them to notify you, because I'm on my personal Instagram and I just got notifications from Instagram and TikTok because, y'all, we stream live and in living color on Facebook. Come on, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Y'all, it's official.
And with that being said, if you're watching from wherever you're watching, go ahead and share it to somebody you think could benefit from this episode.
Absolutely. I think that's everything, friend.
All right, so let's talk about what we're talking about today. If you've seen the flyer today, we're talking about minding your money. But not in a shallow way. This episode is not going to be just about budgeting or telling you to stop spending. It's about understanding how money affects your mind, our emotions, relationships, the choices. Oh, look at that hair. And our future. In the Black community, wealth building has not always been equal or easy. Many of us are not starting from the same place, and we're dealing with history, survival habits, lack of inheritance, limited access, emotional spending, debt, and just simply not being taught the rules. But this conversation is not about shame. It's about awareness, because once we understand the money story, we can start changing our money habits. And once our habits, we can build stronger lives for ourselves and most importantly for the next generation. Because we always talk about breaking these generational curses, but if we don't know what we need to do to make it happen, history just gonna keep repeating itself. So let's go through these real quick before I give y'all. I know y'all waiting for the definition because you know we love a good definition around here. But we just wanted to go over a couple of statistics. And friend, if you want to, we can just go back and forth. You take A, I take B. Okay, but we're gonna go why wealth is so much harder for Black people, because we're the Melanin Mindset, so that's who we're talking about, the melanated community, African Americans to be specific. But why is it so much harder for us to build wealth than other people? And it's not that we're making it up. The statistics tell us that. So go ahead, friend. You can read the first one.
So the first one says, it's harder because Black families are blocked from building, keeping, and transferring wealth for generations. That doesn't mean we're powerless, but anyone pretending the race started fairly is not being honest.
And homeownership is one of the clearest examples. In 2023, the Black homeownership rate was 44.7%, which actually I was surprised it was that high, compared to 72.4% for white households. A Black-white house ownership gap stood at about 28% points.
Wow.
I do feel like we read the statistic before, like pre-pandemic, and Black homeownership rate wasn't that high. So I think we give us a round of applause for at least kicking up the notch a little bit.
Girl, I
But
honestly think that Georgia is single handedly changing the story for a lot of people. Georgia
yeah,
and Texas,
but the
because
gap
the
is
gap is
still large.
ugly.
Yes, the gap is
That
still
gap
very
is still
large.
ugly. So
Mhm.
even when Black people pursue home ownership, this one hurt me a little bit, friend. This
Mhm.
one bothered me quite a bit. Access to
Mhm.
lending isn't equal. A
Mm-mm.
study in 2023 showed that Black applicants for conventional home purchases had loan denial rates of 16.6, while non Hispanic white only had 5.8% denial.
Yeah.
So that is a scary gap
And that
because that's
statistic
over
is
11%.
matching, yeah, and that statistic is matching incomes, credit scores, like basically matching the same. The only
It's a
difference.
level playing field perspective,
Mhm.
and it's same stats for both sides, and the denial still equaled out to over
Mhm.
11%. That's crazy work.
Yeah, stock ownership is another gap. In 2022, 66% of white families own stocks directly or indirectly, compared to 39% of black families. Retirement accounts showed a similar gap, 62% of white families compared to the 35% of black families.
Inheritance, what your family leaves behind for you. And we're not
Mhm.
like, girl, I went down a little rabbit hole here, and apparently we're leaving behind some debt on our end at this point.
That part.
So in 2022, white families nearly 4 times more likely than black families to receive an inheritance. Researchers estimated that intergenerational transfers explain about 12 to 16% of the racial wealth gap.
Mm.
Sweet grief.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's wild.
And business ownership is huge. Brookings reported that black people were 14.4% of the U.S. population, but only 3.3% of employer business owners. Employer business owners had a median wealth of $550,000 compared with the 135,000 for non-employer business owners. So no, the answer is not black people just need to stop buying sneakers
That
or
irked me when I
stop
saw that.
shopping, or it's not. The real issue is asset ownership, capital access, estate transfer, business scale, investment participation, and financial defense. Now, here is what we come in. What we want to talk about is really your mindset. So that's why the episode was called Mind Your Money. So we got three definitions for you. I got the money mindset, is the way we think, feel, behave, and make decisions with money. It's shaped by what we're taught, what we say growing up, what we survived, what we feared, what we valued, and what we believe was possible. I think that's the biggest thing. Your money mindset is what you believe is possible. Because if you believe it, you'll act on it. That makes sense? A healthy money mindset helps us make intentional choices instead of letting fear, impulse, shame, comparison, and survival habits control our financial future. Minding your money is more of an action. It means knowing where your money is going, what it's building, who's benefiting, whether it's helping you survive, grow, own, or transfer wealth. And then I also wanted to define generational wealth for the purpose of this
We hear
episode.
that a lot.
And we hear it a lot, but what actually is it? And how do we make it happen? Generational wealth is not just leaving money behind, it's leaving behind assets, knowledge, protection, ownership, discipline, documents, skills, and opportunities that give the next generation a stronger start. I remember when a friend of ours, and it's a mutual friend, I won't say her name though, because I'm putting her business out there. When her mother passed away, she, in her grief, was still just so um taken aback at how well her mother laid everything out. Like all she literally had to do was show up. Her mom had gone as far as making sure that when she passed, the house just transferred, her funeral was paid for. She had already picked out her casket and where she wanted to be buried. All she had to do was open up the book and make the phone calls. Like she planned everything out. And that really allowed her to not only appreciate, and set herself up to do the same things her mom did, but it allowed her to peacefully grieve her mother. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times, if we grieve, we finally grieve, and it be about a year later because of all the stresses that was attached to us losing a loved one. But we gotta prepare better and be ready for these things. I know they're like uncomfortable to talk about, but they're actually things that are inevitable. So why don't we prepare for them better? You know what I mean?
So true.
Like we know we're gonna die.
So true. That's
We know.
yeah.
It's a given.
And what we don't know is if we're gonna wake up tomorrow, but we know we're gonna die.
Yeah.
Um, and I think when we were doing the contrast, right, the comparison and contrast, I
Mhm.
think that is a huge. It was probably yes, she was probably grateful. It was gratitude because it's like I don't have to be inundated with these things, but then at the same time, it was probably like a shock value to it because you see a lot of that kind of stuff in our counterparts. I'll say it that way,
Mhm.
and not so much in our world, for lack of better words, where we're we're aware of what's coming,
Mhm.
but we tend to be more reactive than proactive. And I think we'll get into that a little bit more in the episode. But that reactive trait versus proactive, hopefully this generation is going to be the change in that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes this generation be stressing me out. I'll be like, what? What? Why would you do that? What made that make sense?
Oh gosh,
I think this is
I
important
can't.
to say because when we talk about wealth, a lot of people kind of equate being wealthy and being rich as the
With
same
what you got.
thing, or what you have, or what it looks like. I saw a post that said, if what that man name? Oh, why I forget his name? The Tesla man.
Elon. We ain't gonna say the
Yeah,
whole name. We don't want
yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
flagged.
They were saying that well, if Elon is worth multiple billions of dollars,
He's
and
almost a trillion.
it's only about a billion people on the planet, why don't he just give each person $1 billion? He'll still be the wealthiest man. Okay, so sounds funny, but I also found it quite um
Preposterous.
yes, and a little bit ignorant. Because um if
I
you
tried to
under
say it in a nice way.
yeah, 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 if you understand net worth, he can't just go to the ATM or write checks and it's just gonna get cash. It's not like that. But
Hmm.
wealth is not income. Wealth is ownership. Income is what you make.
Assets.
That's the money you make. That's what comes in, and it could change. It could change drastically immediately. You can get sick and then you can't work the way you work. You can, job businesses have been shutting down left and right. We've been watching that happen for the last few years. So income is that, but wealth is what stays, what grows, and what transfers. A job can feed your family, but assets can free your family. So the goal is not to make money. The goal is to convert money into things that grow. Okay. So, all right. So let's lighten up a little bit and let's just talk about some of our backgrounds and how we grew up around money. Um, I don't know.
We ain't had none when I was growing up.
Well, at least that's how. I don't think we had none either. But I
We
mean,
didn't.
we always had somewhere to live. We always had something to eat, but we were impoverished
Yeah,
by
I'll say
definition, especially by the definitions that in the statistics that we just read.
we had functional money when I was growing up. Like it was more than a 1 to 2 kid household, so it was quite a few of us. We had clothes,
Mhm.
we had food, we had a home. You know, needless to say, shared bedrooms, stuff like that, because it was multiple
Mhm.
kids. But we had a turning point as well in my house. But that turning point came probably, I think, in high school,
Mhm.
where my dad ended up getting a different job and finished school and stuff like that, and it was a dramatic change for us. We went from the smaller home, more modest style of living, into something much nicer, much bigger, and there was a little bit more freedom that came attached to that.
Mhm.
And I feel like I shared this story on one of our episodes, where I said that Christmas that my parents put like cell phones. They had got all of us cell phones that year,
Mm-hmm.
and they put them inside of the household appliance boxes.
I'm
And
so
we were
sorry.
all like, oh, okay, we were grateful. We were all
Mm-hmm.
just like, oh, thanks. And, nobody's opening their box.
Yeah.
But we were thankful. Needless to say, there were things that were in the boxes were things that we would need, like necessities. And that's what, we were okay with that. But when we opened it and seen the phones and the little phone cases, the heart attacks were top tier.
Mm-hmm.
But that came later in life. Like I'm saying later in life, like I'm 80. But it happened, when I was in high school or so, which means that my other siblings were already adults at that point. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, no, in my household, we grew up modestly but appreciative.
Mm. It's funny though, because you say your other siblings were adults at that time. Like, were they living on their own and taking care of
The
themselves?
My oldest brother had moved out. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
my oldest brother had moved out. I think I was in like the 10th grade.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, he was there when we first moved in the house, but he moved out shortly thereafter.
Mm-hmm. Cause I was about to say, I got grown kids now, and I got the same income, but I definitely feel more wealthier because it's just certain things. Once your kids become more independent, there's more expenses the younger they are than it is when they get older. So I was like, that might have something to do with it too.
Mm.
When them kids get older, you like, okay, because I've seen people comment like, "Oh, my mama, she out here taking trips and stuff. She ain't never take us on no trips." Yeah, because it was expensive to take six of y'all on a trip, but just to take me and daddy is cheaper.
Girl, listen, as a currently intrigued adult in putting a stamp somewhere in this devilish passport, I
Yeah,
can say I shut my whole mouth because
yeah.
I had no idea that these things were so expensive, and then to have as many kids as my parents had in that house,
Hmm.
um we
When
was
they
going
did
to we
pull it
went to
off,
Disney. We
yeah,
went to Disney as a whole
hmm,
family. Like
yeah,
there are pictures of my entire family at Disney. So it's like to just think about the lengths that it took. Like we joke about going to Marco Island as kids for the family vacation, but when we
hmm.
got older we found out my dad's job used to do a retreat on Marco Island. So he would
Okay,
just put us all in the car because they covered the hotel and the little extras and stuff like that, but it was a nice little resort that they would be at. So we all got in the car and we all rode down to Marco Island. Daddy was in meetings during the day and we didn't question it. And we got to order pizza or go spend time in the pool or be at the
hmm,
beach. And we thought we was living it up because we was on family vacation. And then when we got
yeah,
older, we found out, oh, daddy had work. And because
yeah.
everything was already
That's how
covered,
they made it work certain
he made
ways.
it do what it do, and
Mhm.
we were eating out. We got to order pizza. We got our own little sodas from the store. It was great. Like
Yeah,
they made it work for what it was, and I feel like as we got older we started to understand more the sacrifices and the efforts that were being made, or what it was that was really happening.
yeah.
But
You
gratitude
know
doesn't
what?
change.
You know what? Too though, times were simpler back then.
Mm.
Just like you just said, like, oh, we were so excited we got to order pizza. Like these kids nowadays, like
They
I
want a
had my
crab boil
I
sushi.
picked up my friend's daughter from school one time, and I said, "Oh, you hungry? What you want to get to eat?" She said, "Oh, I'm expensive." Mind you, I think she was like 7 or 8 at the time.
She said
And
she's
I said, she
expensive.
said, "Oh, I'm expensive." I said, "Well, what's expensive, ma'am? What do you want?" She said, "I like sushi."
Mm-mm.
Now, lucky for her, we live near Publix, and then sushi was $5. So
I remember this story now.
she definitely got sushi that day. But it was just funny to me, like I don't remember even trying sushi till I was well into adulthood.
Girl, I didn't eat a rib till I was grown. What you mean?
What? Why you over here looking at this steak and these ribs? You better get over there and get you a hot dog.
Girl, get a hot dog or what was with that? And I know that's not
I
what we're
don't.
talking about tonight, but what was the deal with that? Why couldn't we
Yeah,
have a rib or a piece of chicken? Why we had to eat a hot dog or a hamburger?
I'm telling you, it goes into what we're talking about right now.
Ugh.
Because there was only the ribs was for the grown people. Number one, because we didn't know if the kids was gonna like them, and they're way more expensive than a pack of hot dogs. So if a kid buy the hot dog and throw it away, maybe I'm not gonna be mad. But I worked hard to get these ribs, and if I see a kid throw this rib away, I'm having attitude.
A
So
whole attitude.
the ribs was for people who got income.
And
The
at the
hot
crab
dog,
boils,
and
all you got was the sausage and the boiled
depending on
eggs.
whose family house you went to, you might not have been able to get a hamburger either. Because if they had Angus, you wasn't getting none of that.
That part. You was getting the little, you remember the orange boxes? They used to come with the
Mhm.
frozen pucks in it. Throw them on the grill for the
Yes,
kids.
yes, I do know what you're talking about. But I mean, okay, so that brings us into our next subject about financial habits. Like, how did my niece came up eating steak and baked potato? Did you see that comment?
I
Exactly. She's agreeing with me. Yeah, they did.
no,
These
I
kids,
steaks and baked potatoes though. Get it.
my I'm telling you, and I feel like my kids did too, but that was because I it's terrible because I felt as though certain things was easier for me to acquire in a low income situation. Food was one of them. So yeah, we tried all the different foods. My kids eat just about anything except for one of them. She picky. No, two of them. I got two picky eaters. But she can't say they haven't. They can't say they haven't tried it.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
so
my nephew requested a full on. I think you remember this for graduation. He said he wanted a full seafood boil, and my
yeah.
dad came with cases, not just a box, not just a few cases of
Mm-hmm.
crab legs,
Mm-hmm.
clusters. We had crawfish. We had shrimp for days,
Your
sausage.
dad is also pretty resourceful too. He probably know
Yeah,
how to get stuff for the low, and that's something else we need to be more mindful
girl,
of too. Like if noodles and hot dog on a
on a
yes
slice
ma'am,
of bread, not a
yes
bun,
ma'am,
a
not
slice of
both.
bread.
Yeah, uh-huh. How
Yeah.
did you feel about like your financial habits that you have now? Were they instilled in you, or did you learn them like as you got older, like budgeting and paying your bills on time, tracking your spending? Or you still just be flying by the seat of your friends? I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I be flying by the seat of
I
my
be
pants.
flying by the seat of my
I'm
pants a
like,
little bit.
what? I'm on that carpet with Aladdin and Jasmine.
Girl, listen, flying, me and
Mm-hmm.
God, we got it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I do get like tips and tricks and stuff present day, from my
Mm-hmm.
dad and my mom on how to spend money and how to do things. What in the heck? How to spend money, how to, make sure things are done. And it's like else, before everything else, make sure your bills are paid. Because let's just be for
Yeah.
real, you're not gonna starve if you pay your rent. Why? Because I've been gifted enough that I live close enough to somebody. I'm gonna get a plate of
Mm-hmm.
food,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that's not everybody's testimony, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, as long as I have used my money for my bills first,
Mm-hmm.
then and I guess that's the lesson that's kind of
That is the
resounding
lesson.
that I was always taught. It's just that, even if I didn't have people, there's food pantries, you get what I'm saying? But long
Yeah.
as I use my money to pay my bills first,
Yeah. You always got
that,
somewhere to
yeah,
eat,
you're gonna
sleep.
always eat. You're gonna eat and
Mm-hmm.
you'll have somewhere to sleep. You got lights, you got heat, you got, AC, whatever you need. But as long as those bills are covered, like you cover home before you cover fun.
Yeah, and I also think that combination of the pressures, and like we were just saying how these kids nowadays, they first of all, I blame social media for everything, because I don't
Everything.
even think I knew sushi existed because I wasn't online watching people try different sushi, or they have access to so much, and of course if you see it so much you want to try it. And being a parent and all, you want your kids to experience those things, but you got to do it inside of your budget.
Girl, I was fully convinced that sushi was quote unquote disgusting until I was old enough to buy it for myself. I don't know if that was my parents being funny, but I
Mhm.
did not think sushi, I knew sushi existed, but
Mhm.
not for those reasons of like social media or
No,
anything.
I
But
I
I knew it
probably think your
existed.
parents. I probably think your parents still think sushi is disgusting. That's probably what's their true feelings.
Yeah, I feel like that might have been a thing. That sushi's
Mhm.
disgusting. And with that, it was I didn't discover it until where did we go? And I had some tempura, and it was everything. But I haven't
Mm-hmm.
tried raw sushi yet, y'all. So give me time.
Yeah, I'm telling you, as we're going through this too, we giving ourselves a lesson, and hopefully y'all getting something from this too. And
That part. But what about you? You didn't answer that one, friend.
what I answer what?
You didn't answer how you grew up seeing money.
Oh, I
Like, did you
didn't.
get your
It wasn't
habits
there.
from? Oh,
I did. Okay, so here's the thing. I grew up with a single mother who did her absolute best to make sure that we had what we wanted, and that I also think the pressure of being a single mother made her want us not to appear that we were suffering because she was a single mother, which in turn I saw her make a lot of poor money decisions for lack of knowledge and just trying to keep pretty much the it sounds terrible when I say it like that, but it
no, no,
was.
no. You don't
It's
even have
like,
to elaborate. They should go
you're
back and watch Keeping
you're
Up with the
trying to
Joneses.
yeah, you're trying to protect. As a single mother, I know that it was coming from a different place. You're trying to protect so that people don't, so that your kids also don't feel like they're lacking anything, and also that people don't see like, oh, she's struggling because she don't have a husband or XYZ. You know what I mean? So I know why, but I also know how bad the effects were, which made me in turn think I could do it better, and I didn't. I just trying to, take money from here to pay this and then put it
Robbing
back,
Peter to
and
pay Paul.
using that little overdraw max you got and just paying a little fee and then putting it back. But when I learned real math, if you do real math, the APR on you doing that every week for an entire year is like 600%. Would you sign up for a loan with a 600% APR? Heck no,
That's
it wouldn't make sense.
$35 on
But when
every single overdraft.
but when they give it to you in little bites, it don't seem like it's affecting you. But oh, is it? Oh, is it? So yeah, and then being met, we got married young, and we're trying to figure stuff out. So we did a lot of the MLM of it all, trying to get rich quick. You got, and then they have that whole mindset of you got to invest money to make money. So we invested in a lot of stuff that went absolutely nowhere. So yeah, not the greatest money story at all.
Well, friend, I had both parents in the house growing up, and we definitely grew up in that same tone of when we go out the house, we represent our parents. So even though we might not have had like the new Jordans on, I'm telling you, them Chuck Taylors was clean. All right, Chuck
See,
Taylors
we
are more
had
expensive today,
see
but back then
the problem
those were the
was
cheap
we had the
shoes.
new Jordans on.
Yeah, but the thing is, picture it, friend. It was two of y'all. It was at one point became six of us. So if all of us had on Chuck Taylors, add that up, and that's them two new pair of Jordans. So it was like to put all of those together. It's like they still did what they could to make the clothes and stuff like that happen. But it was, it might not have been the name brands and stuff like that. But we always were crisp, clean, and neat and put together, for lack of better words. But it was always that representation of you gotta, look this way so people don't think that way. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But friend, I just checked up on the time. It looks like it's about that time. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this commercial so that we can continue to talk about how you can mind your money a little bit more afterwards. Lego.
Hello, beautiful. Welcome to Kimmy Elegance, where luxury meets healthy hair. Created by professional stylist Kia Blain of KB Hair Designs, Kimmy Elegance is a hair and body care collection made with nourishing oils and botanical ingredients that support your self-care routine without unnecessary compromise. From rosemary, amla, fenugreek, black cumin, and jojoba in our luxury hair growth oil, to argan jojoba and sweet almond oil in our Pure Protect elixir, every product is created to care for your scalp, strands, and skin with intention. Healthy hair, radiant skin, luxury without health compromise. Shop Kimmy Elegance today.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Friend, go ahead.
Guys, let me tell you, the Kimmy Elegance oil has been blessing hairs all over South Florida, and y'all need to get some. Like, and I'm not gonna say like I'm gonna say that it's not the oil alone. It's also the level of education I give my clients. Like, you can't just take an oil and think it's gonna fix everything, but when you know what to do with it, then it can benefit your growth journey or your retention journey so well. So when you order, I do have like instructions, give you knowledge about what's in the product, proper use of the product. So y'all go ahead and shop at Kimmy Elegance.
All right, all right, all right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and make sure we scan that QR code. That should be in the chat now, I think, friend. After I showed it on the screen. So
Mm-hmm.
up next, y'all go to www.themelaninmindset.com and become an official MFer. I think, friend, it's gonna be the last week that I say this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Become an official MFer by getting your MFNT and support what we're attempting to do. Every purchase allows us to continue to bring you content, continue to post, continue to appear on this platform for you all each and every week. And if you don't know, MFers are Mindset family members. So this is the last time I'm gonna say that one. So the MFers are the Mindset family members, and we love each and every one of you all, and are actually excited to say that we have exceeded 700 on Facebook.
Woo woo! That's a lot of
Right?
MFs.
That's a whole lot of MFers. So y'all go over to www.themelaninmindset.com and click shop, and you can look through the merch that we have to offer online. Do you have an MFing question and don't want everybody in your MFing business?
Mm-hmm.
I did that on purpose. You want
Mm-hmm.
opinions, but without everyone in your business, submit your MFing questions to the Melanin Mindset for the MFing question segment. DMs are also welcome. Primary source of contact will be the melanatedmindset at gmail.com. If you submit your request, we will be glad to respond to your question on one of our live streams, or you can go to www.themelaninmindset.com, scroll all the way to the bottom, and use that submission form to go ahead and share your MFing questions. It can even be a story time or something like that. You just want some feedback, but you don't want everyone to know who you are. All submissions are anonymous, even if you tell us not to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, friend, that's that because we're done. The graduate series is over, y'all. Shout
Yeah.
out to all the graduates for 2026. We
Do we
absolutely
have
love
an
and
MF
adore you
question
all.
today?
I did have an MF in question. Do I have an MF in slide to show? No, but I have the question.
Okay. I don't think
Mhm.
nobody would read that slide anyway.
Ooh.
Um, oh, maybe it's just me. I apologize.
We
I
had a
just read
comment
it.
before we went to break, though. Let's read this real quick.
Okay.
Okay. It says, my aunt raised me, and if we were struggling, I couldn't tell. We for
Mm.
sure didn't starve, and I feel we had what we needed for the most part, clothes ironed and all. Listen,
No, huh?
same. Same.
Yeah.
I was in there, and we didn't have, it's hindsight. Truth be told, a lot of this is just
Yeah.
hindsight because our parents definitely did their part to make sure that we came up as kids and got to be kids. I'm gonna just say it
Mm-hmm.
that way. We came
Mm.
up as kids and got to be kids. So yeah.
Yeah. What about the whole I'm not even looking at the document anymore. I'm all over the place now. What about the whole income tax of it all?
Girl, I ain't
Like,
learned about that till I got grown.
okay.
These
Um,
child tax credits.
Yeah, no, I do. I just remember everybody, and this wasn't just my mother per se, but everybody, even as an adult, when I started having kids and my peers and stuff, like that income tax. I think about it now, like it makes me sick to my stomach
Oh,
about how much money I got in income tax that had I invested it, like what my wealth would look like right now versus what it actually looks like. Like literally people are getting anywhere from 2,000 to like $15,000. A lot of people see which I never understood how your doggone income tax refund was more than you made for the year. That's neither here nor there. That's probably something that'll be investigated later.
shut
But
up.
It's like I'm like, how you only worked for 2 months? How you get back $10,000? Anyway, um, but what people do with their money when you get it, like I ain't gonna lie, I knew it was coming. So a lot of times Christmas would be lit, and I'd say F all the bills because I knew when I got my income tax early February, I could catch up on the bills. So most of the time, mine went to all the stuff I ignored from October. Look, from October to January. But
Mm.
I see people buy cars in January, and by March the car is repossessed. I have seen, you know, taking your income tax, going to get a grill put in, but then, you borrowing money because your light's about to get cut off in March. Like that, what in our mental made us as a people continue to do that?
Friend, it's all about the appearance of things. It's definitely that outside view. Like how I said earlier, like you leave out your house, you represent your parents. I think a lot of us do not take stake or ownership over you represent yourself. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like we are always looking back to see what someone is thinking or what representation you're casting on where you come from. When in reality, you should stand on your own too and make your statement. Like I'm in a
Mm-hmm.
space now, finally, where much respect to my parents. This is not a this ain't that.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely am looking toward what do I show from who I am when I step out the door. It's not about how I represent my family, how I represent my name or anything like that. It matters more to me how I represent myself now. So I
Yeah.
think that taking that
So,
ownership is not there yet.
but in that, now in that, on what you look like what's important.
Oh no, what's
Like the whole
important?
thing, like the whole image, like looking a certain way versus actually being a certain way.
Oh
Like,
no, integrity is more important to me. It doesn't matter what you're assuming. It's the stuff I do when you're not looking at me that matters more.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not. I be over here indulging. That's my money problem. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, that'll make me happy. And I'm just like, I'll
Mm-hmm.
spend the money on that. It's not about what somebody would perceive or think is good enough. Nah. Yourself?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm thankfully, I'm gonna say it this way, I'm thankfully out of that window. Cause I dwelled in that space for quite some time where I was trying to make sure what I did and how it looked fit the image or what someone else wanted it to look like. But
Mm-hmm.
present day, I don't care. My money issue is I be just appeasing myself.
Yeah, that emotional spending.
Yeah, and not even that. Like, oh, that's pretty. I want it. That impulse. I think mine is more impulse spending. It's
But your
not
impulse,
necessarily
it
even.
still comes from an emotional place, though, doesn't it?
Um, I'm not trying to satiate anything other than the oh
You
that's
are. You just said I want it.
yeah. It's like oh I want it. It's not I want it for any particular purpose. Like that's nice to have.
Okay, so
Like it's
it's
gonna
because you
benefit
want it,
me.
but it's not stopping you from growing your wealth. It's not
It's
stopping you
stopping me
from.
from growing my wealth, but it's not emotionally attached. Like you're trying to say it in the space where I'm like trying to satisfy an emotional part of me. It's just more or less like careless spending. It's not connected to anything directly. No, it's careless, completely careless. And that's not a good thing. But I'm just saying, like, what I am
But
talking about
why
is
is
just,
it careless?
it's careless because it's not a necessity. It's not growing. It's not helping. It's not doing anything. It's just some careless things that you pick up.
Yeah,
Not
but
even
if
to show. Now, I don't even, 9 times out of 10, nobody even sees it.
no, but that's what.
So,
So that's what I'm saying. Um, because if we shop and we buy things like you just said, it you just want, it don't serve a purpose at all.
well, yeah,
So
sometimes
then
it
what?
does. Like
So then
all
what
these
is the
Apple
purpose of it?
products, all these Apple products benefit what I do in a creative space, like the podcast, doing some designs and some, music and stuff like that for the podcast and posting and cross posting and using different things to send back and forth between devices. So it does benefit in that space.
But
But
now just talking about us building generational wealth, building, that type of thing. Yes, these things help you do those things, but if it's if it's depleting you, was there an easier, more affordable way to do the same thing? Like, why did you choose the Apple products to do it? Could you not do the same thing with, like go to Brand Smart, get one of them $50 tablets? Would it not have worked the same way?
Mm-mm. Software capabilities vary depending on the device. You know this.
Also too, I do know this, but this is what I'm saying. And then this is what I'm saying we have to start doing as people, because the same way you went and bought all the Apple stuff, I'm pretty sure there's somewhere you can access the Apple stuff and still do the same things. Is it easier? No, it's probably going to cause you to have to do a little more work to get to it. But at the end of the day, how much is an iPad? And I'm only using the example you used. You said an iPad is what,
Right.
about twelve hundred
I
dollars if it's the Pro.
mm,
They a lot. Let me say, let's say it's 1,000, just to put it out there. That
mm-hmm.
$1,000 in an in a retirement plan, or in save, even just in a savings account. Like, we're walking around, and I'm talking to myself too. We're walking around with $1,000 phones and don't even have enough in the savings account to buy a new one if it broke. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. But that math don't math. We have at our libraries, there is what they call the what's it called? I think it's called the Imagination Station or something like that. You can
Mm.
go in there. There's MacBooks, there's microphones, there's every software you can think of. It's the creative station or something like that.
Oh, that's
So,
dope.
like, in my mind, if I ever felt like, I told my daughter too, well, she's saving up her money to get her own iPad, which that ain't none of my business. But I was like, if there's ever a homework or something that you have to do that you need those softwares, take your behind down the street to the library, sit there and get your work done. Like, you don't have to empty out your account just to get a thing. And I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what our why. Well, I know why, but we have to stop being so attached to the things. By nature, I feel like we're just lazy as people, and we go for the easiest way out. Whether it affects our future or not, we just like, listen. I know how many times I sit here, DoorDash is my problem. I will sit here with a refrigerator full of food and be like, I just don't feel like cooking, and order something.
You had to talk me off the ledge before we went live.
Yeah, and I'll just order something for
I ate the spaghetti
no
though.
forsaken reason. Very good. Round of
I ate the
applause for yourself.
spaghetti. I ate
Round
the
of applause.
spaghetti.
Cause you was about to order that stuff, and you probably was gonna have two things and be hungry an hour later, and it was gonna cost you $40.
Oh gosh. But
Yeah,
I feel like
that part. Look at this one. We're actually financing the phones.
oh, listen, that's
Cause
the
it's
thing. I'm
mm-hmm,
good. I'm good for going when they're giving away free phones. That's why I did
mm-hmm.
not get the Pro
But are
Max.
they
I just
actually
got the
giving
regular
away
one.
free phones?
I went when it made sense. I'm gonna be honest, and I don't know why. It's the necessities.
It's not free.
That's
They
my.
just
I'm
wrap that.
backwards. I'm backwards because my
Mm-hmm,
necessities are the things where I'm trying to cut corners, where I'm checking to make sure there is a discount. But then the now I don't want to say luxuries necessarily, but the things that simplify life for me,
mm-hmm,
I'll break the bank. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
But the necessities, like I need a connection to the outside world in some way, shape, or form for an emergency. But if there's not a
Do
free
you
phone
though?
involved,
Do
or
you
it's
though?
not on sale, if it's not a deal or a discount involved, I'm
Mm-hmm,
not doing it. And
mm-hmm.
that's the problem. Those priorities are kind of screwed up because
No,
it's
they're
like,
not. That wasn't to me.
but
Cause,
what I'm saying is that
cause
I'm
I mean, first
buying
of all, the
the
phone is not a necessity.
well, you need some if you have an emergency.
Get a house phone.
That's a phone. You need a phone. You need a connection. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
but
It
a
doesn't
house
have to
phone
be
costs you
it
twelve
costs you
dollars.
way less. Understood. But what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying is
Not could you
she said
DoorDash me some ice cream?
what I'm saying is that line of connection to the outside world is a necessity, whether it be a house phone or a cell phone. It's a necessity to have the connection to the outside world.
I still
So
beg
all
to
I was
argue.
saying was understood.
We're not gonna agree on that. We
I
won't.
I see. That's fine. And so
Mhm.
with that, it's like I'd be more apt to find a deal or look for a credit or look for a percentage decrease on that
Mhm.
necessity versus the thing that's just going to simplify life for me. I will go ahead and spend that money. Like I'll spend the cash and call it a day. And that's a financial flaw. That's definitely a financial
Mhm.
flaw.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. A phone does simplify life for you though. I'm just saying. Cuz you could write a letter. You could go to the person's house and talk to them. So, it's still a luxury. Anyway,
Thank you.
I still
Carry
was
on.
tying it to it being emotional.
Okay.
It's still emotional. It's still emotional because if it wasn't, and this still ties back to like what we believe. Why don't we believe that we can have generational wealth? And I challenge that by because some people say, "Oh, I do believe," but if we actually believed it, wouldn't we move in a way where we're moving towards it instead of away from it? Like, would we not uh get the investment account, get the life insurance policy? And that is the big difference between uh us and them is that they will like come. I remember watching Jimmy's where Jimmy used to work at, his boss, his daughter turned into an adult, you know? And it was instant. You need this account, you need that account. You're gonna get your real estate license so that you can be, you know, I can put you on these properties to sell while you're going through college and figuring out what you want to do. But it was like from the moment that girl turned into an adult, she was set up better than half the adults I know. And it was just like, this is what we do. That's what I did with my son. That's what I did with this daughter. Like, what's gonna make us see the difference?
Mm. What do you think will make us see the difference?
I don't honestly. I believe each person has to individually be. Um, I think this part of this is helping us putting the
Hmm.
knowledge out there, like how you attain these things, and actually knowing that these things are attainable, right? But then after
Fair.
that, it's up to each individual person.
So true. So how many people comment down below and let us know how many of you all actually know your credit score? Who actually
Mm.
knows their credit score? Like, do you know your credit score right now?
Right now, no.
Mm, I don't know mine right this second, but I knew it
It,
like 2 weeks ago.
no, I don't know
And
mine.
I know what's on it. I do know what's on it.
I know what's on my credit. I that's all I'll be looking at. I don't look at the score unless I am trying to do something that I know requires me a score. But I do monitor my credit to know what's on it, what's, I monitor it for that reason. But I don't I don't know the score. They be making you pay for
Yeah.
that. I ain't paying for that
Whew.
until I need it.
Listen, this one says the good thing about sharing this information is that the younger generations will be better informed than we were. Big facts. I'm gonna clap on that one.
Mhm.
That's true because once the conversation starts, then all that's gonna happen is, did I do that? I sure did. Got to
Yeah.
change your way of thinking.
Mhm.
She said, I do. And
Yeah.
it's because another comment came in. My bad. I
Yeah.
keep track of mine. Yeah, I knew the number because it was time for me to go ahead and pull that free report thing.
Mhm.
So I knew the number at that time, but I, more than anything, keep an eye on the stuff that
The free
goes on
report
there.
give you your number now?
The free report broke everything down, and then I got this packet that told me what my numbers were.
Okay,
So I
you
don't
had to
know
pay
if
for
it
some
because it
extra,
came
right?
from I don't know, it came from the bank. I went to the bank and did it.
Okay, yeah. The free
Yeah.
report just gives you the report. If you got a
Okay.
score, the score is usually through, sometimes your
Yeah, I
credit
got
card company will track your score.
maybe that's what it was because I got all
Hmm.
three numbers from
And
the
I do think some bank
card.
accounts, yeah, I do think some bank accounts are giving you your score. I got something. One of my cards do because it'll tell. I do get the little emails to be like, "Oh, your score went up certain amount of points," or "You had this." So
Or this new thing showed up. And right now
yes.
that's the bane of my existence. Is
Mm-hmm.
something new coming up because I'm like trying as hard as I can. Do you track your spending? Use any of those things like Mint Mobile or not Mint Mobile,
I
Mint or
used to.
any of
Mint's
those things like that?
gone. I used Mint for
Uh huh.
so many years, and now that it is gone, I feel so lost. I don't know what to do. I have not tracked my spending since Mint went away.
My heart was broken. I use
Mhm.
Wells Fargo, and
Mhm.
they do the thing where they break down your spending categories.
Mhm.
My heart was broken. I did
Yeah.
that this week
You
just
know,
out of sheer curiosity. My heart was broken.
my business accounts do that.
Break your
My
heart?
business, my business, not break my heart, but
Oh,
put the spending in the categories. Put the
like break
spending in
your
the
heart?
categories.
No,
Mhm.
it broke my heart. Thankfully, it wasn't like it's been a minute since I did that whole overdraft, game. I've gotten out of that. I'm growing up. Go me, applause.
Yeah.
but but no, like looking at like you said, DoorDash.
Mhm.
DoorDash, and what got me last month was these games on my phone. I had to just delete some of them. Cause if I'm
Okay.
close to winning, then I'll be like, "Oh, I can get this game pack for like $9.99, and then I could win."
Oh
And
my
it's like,
gosh.
"Oh." And so when I looked at my numbers last month, getting ready to go into this month, which I've
Yeah.
gotten really good at that now, like looking
Okay.
at what I did last month and get ready for this month, I gotta now move into this next step is applying what I recognize when I go into the
Mm.
next month. But yeah, no, when I noticed that, I was like, "Ooh, delete that game, girl," because that's a middle of the night, can't sleep playing the game, and it's like, "Ooh, let me get this," and then boom, and now here we are.
Yeah. I
Mm-mm.
that's crazy because that's my indication that I need to get off the game. Once I be like, oh man, I just need 100 more points. Oh
Uh-uh.
well, I'm
No,
done.
ain't no. Oh well, I
That's a
can't. I've got that mental reward system. I have to finish,
mm.
and then you know how I get about phase
I'm gonna
10,
pray for you
bro.
about that. I'm
You
gonna
know
pray
how
for
I
you
get
about
about
that.
phase 10.
I think the only time I've ever spent money on a game was one that I like that I really really like, and it was just to get rid of the ads. So I have probably spent an amass of $20 on games, and I probably got about 60 on my phone. But no, I
Mm.
think I got two with no ads. That was it.
What's
That
phase
was
10
it.
and Skippo?
No. Mine is the one with the little bear. What's that? Something Blast,
Toon Blast.
Toon Blast, and then
You
it's
had to pay
another.
to get the ads off of Toon Blast. Toon Blast is
Maybe
ad
not.
free.
Okay, maybe it's not Toon
I
Blast
know we
then.
both did phase
I just know
10.
that one don't have ads.
Yeah,
My
but
Phase
that
10 got ads.
why your phase
My
10 got ads?
I didn't pay for no
Y'all, we
ads
talk
on
about money
Phase 10.
mindset, and we're talking about games on the phone.
I ain't paying no money on no Phase 10.
Oh,
But
friend,
yeah.
we gotta get this one part in that I really want to get their feedback on.
Okay.
Yeah, is anybody watching social media right now? Because we're talking
Yeah.
about minding your money, and this whole back and forth. Well, it's not really a back and forth. I feel like India put a pin in it, and it's over, at least from her end. With
I
this
think it
Young
was over
Miami
before it
song,
began from her end.
yeah, with this Young Miami and India Irie, y'all go ahead and comment down below your thoughts on the situation, and we're just gonna hash out a couple of things. I feel like you had a big point where we were talking about the what wealth really is
Hmm.
and the influence that people. The fourth is over. I'm
Oh
sorry. Those
girl,
can
you
you
know you
hear
about
it?
to hear it. Yeah, I hear it a little bit. Yeah.
But yeah, the influence that the music is having on our decision making, and it does pour into or bleed, I should say, our finances.
It does.
Spin that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
okay. I told you, like, for me, I had just discovered the song, but when did I go to that party? About 2 weeks ago. And I didn't even know what the song was about. I just heard the cadence of the song and that repetitiveness, and I was like, oh, it done turned into a kid party. I'm gonna go in the car and wait for everybody to be ready. I wasn't. It was not my cup of tea either way. But then, I started seeing on TikTok and the whole comedic of the way she say it and the way they was doing stuff on TikTok. I was like, oh, okay, I see why it's catchy. I see why it's catchy. Again, here we go with me blaming everything on social media, because the point that a lot of people were making, not India Ari, which is funny. A lot of people were making the point that the song was creating a stereotype on us as Black people, that the men are scammers and the women are stealing, and it kind of gives the whole, like, oh, if you see me with a nice car, I must have scammed my way into it or stole something and sold it to make the money to do so. So it the song for us is fun, it's catchy, we dancing to it, we making TikToks to it. But for the way it may appear to another culture looking on the outside in, yeah, maybe not so great. So a lot of people had a lot of stuff to say about that.
Yeah.
Miss India Ari, who we all know is about empowerment and building yourself up and doing like that, um, commented on somebody else's comment. So this person made a comment saying that we need to boycott it. Oh, that's what it was. She got song of the summer. So
Mm-hmm.
and somebody commented
And they were performing
basically,
it on BET, on the BET Awards. They performed the dance.
yeah. So they were commenting that this is what's wrong. That's why they view us like they view us, blah, 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 blah. And India Irie made a comment that said, basically, you got exactly what she said?
Yeah. Let me pull it back
Yeah.
up. So
Mm-hmm.
she said, spent my entire adult life caring way too much because I finally learned that not everybody cares with a capital C, and explaining it to them is not going to make them care. Everything you listen to, see, or eat is going to influence you. So make wise choices, y'all. You want me to read the next one?
Yeah. Oh,
And then
go ahead.
and then her second comment was, finally realized that not, and this is after people got started going in, finally realized that not everybody wants to be free.
Yeah.
Ooh, and it was a very, very, very rude awakening, SMH, because the mass acceptance of this song is a crystal clear sign of this is a much bigger truth. I'm sorry, of this is a much bigger truth.
Yeah. And so, like, that goes back to what you was just saying, too. Like, what's going to make people change? Nothing. They're going to do what they want. And that's all India Irie was basically saying. To the girl who was like, oh, let's make it a boycott, she was basically like, for what? They don't care. And their response just further solidified that they don't care.
It's when the DJ, when India Irie said that, and then people were like, India Irie created music for empowerment, growth, and self acceptance. And
Yeah.
the DJ came in and took the spin that and overlaid it into the video, her song
Again,
video.
let's
And
just
it
make
just, you're
fun of
further
it.
proving.
Let's just make fun of it. It's not serious. Da 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 da. The problem with that is it does set a money mindset
Hmm.
in you, and definitely in the youth. Where, like, music is one of those things that enters your subconscious and does not need permission to do so.
Come on.
So a lot of times, have you, I don't know if you've ever, but have you ever reacted like out of character to something and not really thought about why you reacted that way? Like,
You mean like in a sense of like you just have like a knee jerk reaction without any direct
yeah,
thought first?
yeah.
I feel like when I was younger I would, but
Mm.
you got to think about what I was listening to when I
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's
Yeah,
not to say that other influences don't influence your subconscious too. There's plenty of them. But music specifically does it without your permission.
without
And
permission.
that's like kind of like when people say, like, let's use Nuck If You Buck as an
Girl,
example.
I always say I
Like,
locked my hair for that because I be coming in the club shaking my dreads.
like
Period.
just certain things, just you just do it subconsciously because, like, um,
Oh,
what does it say? She told the truth. And we exposed ourselves by celebrating. Funny, catchy, yes, but the song is real. Yeah. I get what he's saying. The song is real
yeah.
because she wasn't singing about nothing that doesn't happen.
Mhm.
But when you're on, and this is that whole controversy of whether you're responsible or not, when you are influencing so many people, like, do you hold a responsibility to not, like, create another stigma for us when we're already fighting against so much? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just extreme thought process. And I'm not saying that this could happen or that it won't happen, because honestly there have been worse. But in those cases where we were talking about what percentage of people are getting approved for loans, you know, they're looking at A loan underwriter is looking at, not only am I giving you this money, how long are you going to be able to maintain your income to pay this back? But if I'm sitting up there as the underwriter thinking that all black people is scammers and boosters, I know they're going to get arrested sooner or later. I don't want to lend money to them, and then now I'm stuck with a house. I always tell people, I said, them mortgage company don't want your house. They're gonna do whatever you can to keep you paying.
Mm-hmm.
So as a person who I'm trying to lend money, or a bank or an entity that wants to lend money into something, invest in something that they want to continue to pay them, unfortunately, you help them with this song have a even more, you know, negative view on us and assets.
And yeah, and then also, where in the heck did the money come from? That's something I'm learning right now. Is that they also want to know where in the heck that money came from.
Absolutely.
Like, where did you get that money?
But the problem is, even if they see it, a lot of times what just happens is that little, what you marked as your race, will have them looking more harshly at how long you've been working, how long has this been doing. You know what I mean?
Oh no, for certain. Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
for certain. And she tried to rectify it a little bit by going down to, I think it was Miami Gardens, and she did the whole thing where she played the song and then had everybody, getting stuff like from this impoverished area, and she paid for it. So she was spending that. But it's like what he said in the chat here. Oh, we got another comment too. So
Mm-hmm.
where it's like it exposed us, because that one scenario that came about where the mom and daughter
Mm-hmm.
went in the store and stole and then posted it on TikTok. Like, what are we living in,
Yeah.
that the mom
Yeah.
and the daughter, not just the
Mother and
daughter,
the daughter.
the mom and the daughter
Or not
posted it
just
on
a
TikTok.
mom, because there have been times where moms have had to do what they had to do for their kids, but them kids didn't know it.
Yeah,
Just
you
like
brought the
our
kid
other
into it.
our other comment said, if we were struggling, I didn't know. You don't.
Yeah,
Whether your kid is an adult or not, hopefully you don't want that for your children. You know what I mean? Yeah, looking for all
right.
the right ways to do the wrong thing.
Exactly. And it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's always trying to find those loopholes and those spaces to kind of get in it. And you got to figure out a way to get out of it. And I think that tonight's episode really drove that point home. Do you want to answer the MF in question
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
um and then do the points, or you want to do the points and then the MF in question?
Go ahead. Do the MF question.
All right, so tonight's entry is: I'm a black man in my mid 40s. Over the last 3 years, I've lost my mother, uncle, and one of my closest friends. Everyone
Dang.
keeps telling me to stay.
I'm sorry.
Everybody keeps telling me to stay strong, so I work, pay my bills, and keep showing up. The problem is, I don't know if I'm actually healing or just staying busy. Some days a song will come on and I'll completely shut down. I guess my question is, how do I know if I'm grieving or avoiding my grief? That would have been a good question for Torian.
Yeah, right. I
That'd have been a
honestly
great one for Torian.
I honestly think just the fact that he's asking the question, he'll be able to tell. He's
Yeah,
gonna pay attention to it. And when people say, I also want him to know, like when people say be strong, that doesn't mean ignore the grief.
yeah.
That
That doesn't mean
that
swallow
just
the pain.
being strong means like you're stronger when you acknowledge the pain and acknowledge that you might need time to sit down, or acknowledge that you need to keep busy. Like all of the fact that you're even questioning it is showing how strong you are and what's going on. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. I send my condolences as well, because that's a lot to go through in, what say, in
A
the
short
last
period of
three
time.
years. That's a
Yeah.
lot to go through in 3 years. You lost people that were really close to you. And I agree with you, friend. Like, acknowledging the fact that you've noticed I might be overwhelming myself with all the things I need to do, and
Who did he
you
lose?
know,
Best friend?
it says, over the last 3 years, I've lost my mother, an
Mm-hmm.
uncle, and one of my closest friends.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, so that's a lot. Like, your mom and your uncle and a close friend. That's
Yeah.
crazy. And so yeah, no, my
Just
condolences, but then it's, yeah, I definitely feel like acknowledging it and then saying, yeah, saying that you know it's happening.
yeah. And
Slow
taking
down.
time out. Be patient with yourself.
Yeah, slow down.
Like it's okay. to feel. And I just really like look within yourself. Journaling. Like, remember Jimmy talked about, I'm telling you, I told him, just write this stuff down. When you go back and look at how you were feeling on certain days, sometimes it's easier to have a perspective about what's going on with you when you can look back at it.
Big
When
facts.
while you in it, sometimes it don't you don't you but you feel something is off. So recording your emotions and recording what went on in a certain day, and then being able to go back and look on it, you could be like, oh, I was tripping that day, or oh yeah, I really was feeling it that day. You know what I'm saying? I have a
For
tendency,
sure.
how many journals we got laying around.
Ridiculous.
I have a
But
tendency of
I
picking up my
transparently
journals.
journal though.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, like keep it a buck with yourself. Ain't nobody else getting your
Mm-hmm.
journal but you. So
Yeah.
keep it a buck with yourself too. Like, so with that journaling tip she gave, make sure you
Yeah.
also keep it real with yourself. Like really
Yeah.
put out there, like today I wanted to bite somebody's head off, if that's how you really feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like really put it out there.
And then when you go back in hindsight and read it, you can reflect and you'll be able to tell, like, am I tripping, or.
Yeah,
Um
for sure.
yeah.
Grief is different for everybody though, so this is a hard one to tell you if you're grieving or if you're not grieving. Just the fact that you're saying what you're going through and how you're navigating it means you're self-aware. At least you have a starting point. You're self-aware and you know that you're hurting and that you're feeling your time. So but grief does look so different for everybody.
I think just the fact, first of all, you grieving. You them people you lost. Yeah. You
Oh
grieving.
yeah, for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's gonna show up at different times. It's gonna show up at inconvenient times. It's gonna look different at times. But yeah, journal. I think journaling, talking to
I agree.
somebody, of course, if you have access to, which they got all these great services now where you can talk
Mm.
to therapists and whatnot. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think
on our
just the fact that
previous
you asked the question.
on the episode that we have with for Black men's mental health, not the last one but the one before, he linked all of his contacts there, but he also linked the links to his contacts are there, but those links go to a broader space.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, go ahead and check him out, but even if not, that is a broader space where you can actually trial and error some other therapists too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so all of those resources are located in the description of that episode.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Cool.
that was
So
sending
closing
love.
out on minding your money. I just have a few closing encouraging statements about minding your money. This was not the episode that was about to give you all the how-tos. I encourage you to really look at how your belief system behind money, how you're managing your money, and think about what you want for the future. Like, do you want a generational change? Do you want your kids to have something, your church, the people around you? What do you want, and how do you want to accomplish that? Because all of that's going to matter more than the latest car, sneakers, clothes, outfit, or so on and
Super
so
valid.
forth, right? um People spend from their story, so just change your story if you need to. All right, so you don't have to be. Here's the closing encouraging statements. You don't have to be ashamed of what you were not taught, but you also don't use it as an excuse to not get better. You don't have to keep repeating what you saw. You don't have to prove success through spending, because you ain't proved nothing to nobody. That was something in this book I read. It was funny because it was like, he was a valet driver, and he was saying that, oh, it's so cool because you get to drive all the coolest cars, right? And it's like the person driving that cool car probably thinks, I want people to see me as successful, right? He said, I had never thought about who was driving the cars. He said, I just was like, the thing is, when people see you as quote unquote successful, it's because they envision themselves in that situation. It's like, oh, I would look fly in that, but nobody is looking at you. So that, how I be telling you that sometimes. I'm like, girl, you think you that important?
Don't nobody care.
Don't nobody care. They thinking about their own stuff. Ain't
Oh
nobody
gosh. Don't nobody care.
care.
I mean, I'm
So
telling you, if I ever need to calibrate, you got me.
so you don't have to prove success through spending. You don't have to become wealthy overnight. Start with
Oh,
awareness. Start with one habit. Don't all of a sudden be like, oh, I'm about to save $5,000 next month and you only make 4,000 a month. It's not gonna happen. That's not
Or
good
if you
math, people.
if you only make 5,000, you're not about to save
Yeah,
5,000 next
that's
month.
not good math. Start with one habit, take baby steps, one account, one conversation, one document, one boundary. Your goal is not to make money. We want to move from survival to stewardship to ownership and to legacy. The goal is for you to understand your money, mind your money, grow your money, protect your money, and use your money to create freedom, peace, ownership, and legacy. Guys, thank y'all for tuning in. As always, stay successful, stay melanated. Till the next time, peace out.